Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martin here with your outlook for January 4th, 2017. For your Wednesday, we're going to start off with a cold front here coming through in the morning. This is going to give us clouds early on, and as this cold front passes this afternoon, we're expecting temperatures to fall. So early highs this morning will actually be somewhere between 10 and 15 degrees above normal, and then we're going to see a drop-off in temperatures as this front comes through. Not expecting any precipitation with it, though, as it does. But you'll know it's coming through because you'll see both the decreasing clouds and you also have winds picking up out of the west, 12 to 18 miles per hour with gusts to 30 miles per hour. So a little breezy once the front comes through, and you'll have those temperatures falling. And you can see that here as we get toward get into this afternoon. Your cold front's situated right about here, and all this area up here is very cold air, and that's going to come through overnight. We're going to have temperatures that are going to drop down to either side of 20 degrees, depending on where you're at. It could be the upper teens to mid-20s from north to south overnight tonight. So it's going to be pretty chilly. Will be breezy again through the evening as well. So if you're going out this evening, make sure you bundle up. It's going to be quite chilly. Okay, going forward from this point, we're going to move ahead to Thursday. Now we're going to have clouds, or partly cloudy skies early on Thursday. I think you have clouds increase later in the day. You see this little disturbance coming in here from the west. This is not a real big deal, we don't think. This is the first of two waves that we're going to be watching. The first is this wave is going to be an insignificant amount of snow. It will be a high ratio snow, though. I know it doesn't make much bit of a difference here, but you'll have that dry powdery snow out of this, but it'll be very light. Most areas get a coating to 1 inch, but since it's so fluffy, I can't rule out somebody getting 1.5 inches or 2 out of it if you get lucky. But really, it's not a big deal. But this is going to be over a widespread area of areas that get into that light snow, and it's colored gray here because it's the lightest amounts on the scale that there is. So it doesn't really add up to a whole lot. But you can see once this northern stream energy, which is diving in here, that's what this is, meets up with a little disturbance off the coast, a little shortwave, and forms a surface area of low pressure. You could have a little bit along the coast here. Probably your highest amounts will be right here, anywhere in the interior, just a coating to 1 inch. These areas here you might get a little over 1 inch, but we're really not expecting too much from this system. This is going to rapidly move up in this direction here and away from the area and stay relatively weak. I want to go into a wider picture now, give you a big picture of what we're looking at here. There's two systems. There's one here. This is that same time frame. Here's that first system that brings you that little bit of coating to 1 inch or whatever comes here on Thursday night into early Friday morning. The second system is this one down here. Now, this is very interesting. This is the one that was our would-be coastal storm. Still uncertainty with this yet, but we're starting to lean towards less impacts for this area out of this system. But we will keep it close because the European model is still trying to do some goofy things with this and trying to monkey around with it and bring it a pretty formidable snowfall event from along I-95 and point south and east. We'll see. Okay, we're still going to monitor this. The energy responsible for this system here is coming on shore today, but a lot will be predicated on what this does. If this trend's weaker, I know that's not going to make people happy with what on Thursday night with any snow that they do get, even if it's only 1 inch. Some people are probably at this point like, we'll take what we can get. If this trend's weaker, and which is still a possibility, and this is allowed to become stronger, yes, then we could see a trend closer to the coast. But we're running out of time for these changes to happen. If it's going to happen, it needs to happen on today's model guidance, on Wednesday's model guidance. It needs to start trending in that direction. GFS is completely suppressed. European, Canadian, and whatnot, those are all pretty close to the coast, so we'll have to be a little too close for comfort, and we at least have to monitor. I'm not sure if it's just the European model just monkeying around here and trying to give you false hopes or weenies false hopes here, because we're really not trying to latch on to this too much yet. But what the Canadian here or the European model do is they bring this up pretty close. Here's your coastal storm trying to take shape. Problem is that first system kind of flattens the heights out ahead of this, so it really doesn't have a chance to start turning up the coast and do one of these classic tracks like this and just dump snow for this area. It continues off in this direction here, and that's because your heights are flattened. If this has a little bit of separation between the first and second system, and this is allowed to intensify a little bit more than when it's down here in the Gulf, then it's given room to do that. There is a possibility that it comes a little bit closer here, kind of like out here toward the benchmark. And if it does that, yes, then you can get areas right here into the snowfall. I still don't think that helps you out here. It's going to take one heck of a shift, but I don't see that happening. So these are the areas we'll monitor But I really think realistically, you're talking about I-95, which runs from New York to Philadelphia and points southeast, are really the areas that have the best chance of that. And you can see that here. This is about as close as it gets, and that's right up to I-95 here. Just light snows here, but right along coastal southern New Jersey and southern Delaware, you could get several inches of snow in this scenario. So we will keep an eye on this closely. Here's this storm really getting wrapped up as it moves off to the northeast. Really unfortunate for those of you who wanted snow, because this is so close. This is sitting right here. If this was right here instead, just a shift west of 75 to 100 miles would have made a big difference for these areas right here. You would have had a pretty good snowstorm, but and it's not impossible that happens yet. But again, odds are it doesn't. So just stick with us. We'll see what happens today, and maybe we'll give you some miracles happen. They've happened with a Boxing Day blizzard back on December 26th many years ago, and that was one of those last minute deals too. It can happen. I just wouldn't place bets on that right now. So after this point, stays cold Sunday, Monday, and it looks like we're going to start moderating a little bit as we get into Tuesday of next week. We're going to go back up to near normal, and then we're going to head to slightly above normal again as we get into the middle of next week. But any systems coming in at that point look like they're going to be too warm for snow. So really hope for all you snow lovers that we can cash in for something for some areas anyway. Out of this coastal system, and the trends go in your favor, because it doesn't look like it's going to be a very favorable pattern going forward. Might not be for most of this month, actually. Things are starting to look kind of bleak going forward here. Not liking the long-range trends that we're seeing, although they can change. So we'll just see. We'll see how that goes. Probably sticking just to maybe 1 to 2 weeks in long-range leads right now, not worry about seasonal forecasting and whether the winter outlook's going to work out. We're just going to pay attention to the what's here and what's now, and just take that as they come, and just look at maybe just a week or two ahead, because right now it's the pattern's too volatile. It's so difficult to forecast to do anything with a long range with it flopping back and forth. So we'll keep an eye on this weekend storm for you. Keep checking back, and we'll update you as needed. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martich. That is your outlook for January 4th, 2017. Have a great Wednesday.